Hello and welcome everybody to the Atomic Salt Live Show. This is the weekly live show. We're going to discuss everything in the tabletop hobby world. I am Wild Chevy, and I'm joined by my buddy Casey. Casey, how are you this week?
Outstanding. How are we doing this, Al?
I am
Doing this evening, Al.
Apparently, you've had too much to drink.
Yeah, I wish I had something stronger than what I have right now. It's been a long day.
All right, well, let's start off by how we normally do. What have you done in the hobby world this week? Maybe that'll make you feel better.
Okay, so the other night I got to play a little bit of Pandemic with some friends and family. So we won, which is really surprising for Pandemic. I'm not bad at the game. It's a really brutal game to play. But we won handily, which is a surprising thing. You know, usually even when we win, it's like down to the wire. But we made that game make us a sandwich. So, and then on the painting side, I've been working some more on Nessie Alke, or Alki, however you say her. So she's gotten all of her base coating down, and I started washing her pants, you know, because she's got like this hexagonal pattern. And I'm not sure I'm liking how it's turning out, to be honest. You know, the whole army's got that black and bronze color scheme, and then all the characters get their own signature color. And I'm giving her pink, but I'm not sure I'm liking it. I mean, we'll keep working on it a little bit, and usually I come to like stuff after I've been working on it more. But as it stands right now, I'm not a fan of this one too much yet.
You can always try going pink. For pink, purple or blue as some shade contrast.
I actually used all of those colors already. So on other people.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
not as a full color, but if you go, since pink is so bright of a color, you'll use purple as a shade.
Yeah, actually, I'm using the Secret Weapon Ruby Wash, which is like a mix of red and purple, to shade it, and it's doing a really nice job. I put it on there and I'm loving it. I'm using Game Colors, their Squid Pink, with the Secret Weapon Ruby Wash, and the two pair very nicely. I'm very happy with how it shades. I'm just not sure that the pink is going to go with the rest of the colors that I have going on. So we'll see. That's it. What about you? What have you been up to?
Let's see, not much painting wise this week. Next week though, I'll be free of 4 classes, so I'm gonna relearn how to use a paintbrush again. But this week, we had a War Machine demo night at the local store, and I went down there, got a good demo for Troll Bloods. It's an army I've been looking at, and I ended up picking up this bad boy. It's the all-in-one box. Privateer Press has been coming out with these all-in-one boxes for each of their armies. Real good deal if you just want to get into it. It comes with pretty much everything you need to get started as far as miniatures go. It even comes with a rule book and some tips on how to play your army and how to build it up from there.
Yeah, I've seen those all-in-one boxes because they do like a 2 at a time sort of thing every few months. I've been really impressed with the amount of stuff you get in there and the deals that they've got going on.
Oh yeah.
That being said, I still can't stand their aesthetic. I can't stand it. But that being said, I think that what they've got in those all-in-one boxes is a phenomenal product.
Yeah, it's a very good deal. I mean, you can't beat that anywhere.
So, it kind of quasi sort of hobby news. So, I completed another revolution around the sun this past week, and I got a little bit of money, from friends and family. Because that's the nice thing about when you're getting older. They just, throw $20 your way and say, "There you go, as a present."
Wait a minute.
And I'm thinking,
You had a birthday and it didn't show up on Facebook? What?
exactly, exactly. Although Google knows my birthday, and so I got like a personalized birthday message from them on my homepage. It was really cool. Um, Slightly creepy, but in a good way, you know. And the girlfriend who knows a
Google
little too
Cloud
much
knows
and
you
cares a
well.
little. Yeah. You know what? That's okay. I've tied myself to the Google sphere, and I couldn't be happier. But anyways, so I've got a quandary going on. I'm going to put this to you and to everybody else listening out there. I have a little bit of money. The problem is I don't have a lot of money. But I'm not sure what I want to do with it. And I'm sure everybody's going to say, "Oh, well, you can give it to me." And no, I won't do that.
Buy miniatures.
Yes. Yes. But that's the question is, what am I going to buy? And I don't know. So our local group has really gotten reinvigorated with 40K. And my Tau, who used to be, top of the heap, are really getting it handed to them a lot lately. By guys like Blood Angels and Tyranids, and it's just not a lot of fun to be Tau right now.
But listen, you don't have any Riptides, correct?
I don't. So the question is, do I want to pick up a couple Riptides and maybe a couple more Piranha, to flesh my squad out all the way? Or do I just want to, put the lid on the Tau and say, this army is done? Because I've been Space Wolf curious for a while. I've dabbled a little bit, just the tip. So
I mean, they got
do
those flyers.
They do, and it's an amazing flyer. And with that money, I could pick up like a flyer, a box of Thunderwolves, and a little bit extra troops.
And a Frost Dreadnought.
It's so stupid. Like Murderfang is the stupidest name in the world, but oh my gosh, he looks so much fun. And so
yeah.
I'm looking at Tau or Space Wolves. Or the other thing I was thinking about is maybe it's time to get an airbrush. So, because that lets me paint models faster. But then I don't have money for models. But then if I buy models, I don't have a way to paint them faster. You see my quandary I'm getting into here? And I don't have the money for both.
Do you have blood running through your veins?
Yeah, and that's what I've been looking at.
You get an airbrush and then donate plasma to buy minis.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
You get a cookie at the end. Come on.
Oh, I don't like. So I used to do that like a lot when I was younger, and I thought it was the greatest thing in the world. And I did it to help pay for Feast of Blades last year, and I don't know. I had a hard time with it this time around. I had a really hard time. So as I've gotten older, I've become less open to that.
I will let you know now that airbrush is a new skill. It takes time to learn, and if you don't have a lot of miniatures to practice on, it's going to take a while to build up the muscle memory and all that. It's a big learning curve for airbrushing. I mean, we saw the Angel Heraldus book. Real good job at showing how to use an airbrush effectively. So,
Well, and let's be honest, I've got all of the myth stuff sitting in my closet. That stuff would be perfect to practice on. Because if it's not perfectly blended, I don't care because it's a board game piece. So I don't know. That's my quandary I find myself in right now.
So, all right, you guys watching at home, what should Casey spend his money on? An airbrush or miniatures?
Yes. Well, more than that, we have three choices. Choice number one, Tau. Choice
Last,
number two, Space Wolves. Or choice number three, neither, and I go for an airbrush. So I want to see you guys comment and let me know what you think.
the, the joys of spending all that extra money that burns in your wallet.
It just happens so infrequently that I'm afraid of screwing it up, you know?
But yeah, it's the nature of the hobby. I see so many cool miniatures now these days. I'm like, oh, just want to buy you to paint you. I'm like, and then I'll have this this tower of shame of really needs to get painted.
And it's only going to get worse. The loot's going on right now. And we got all those cool pictures coming out.
Oh yes, salute. And for a 1 day expo tournament type of thing, there's a lot of good stuff that we saw from this weekend.
Those Brits know. I mean, what we do in a week, essentially a week at Gen Con, they do like in a weekend. Those boys party hard.
Don't know how they do it. I mean, but there's some, we saw some cool things. I know you mentioned it earlier a few weeks ago from Spartan Halo.
Yes, near and dear to my heart. I did a little happy dance over it.
Let's see, I've got some photos from the folks over at Beast of War.
Oh my. Those are so beautiful. I
And
want to cry.
one thing I will say is that I was hesitant at first because all I saw was 3D renders, and 3D renders
Mm-hmm.
don't give you scale. They don't show you how the miniature looks because it's just gray with a blank background. Seeing these with paint on them, they look amazing.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful paint job, but at the same time, when you look at it, it's not an overly complex paint job. They haven't done anything that's groundbreaking or mind blowing here. It's a solid base coat with some washes, nice, clean, small highlights around, and the model does the work for you in this case. They have done such a beautiful job.
And then do we have? Can we see it?
Uh, this is the UNSC Corvette that we're looking right now in the winter camo scheme. This one they did a wonderful job. You can't even tell it's there unless you really know what you're looking for.
All right, let's try that again. The wonders of technology. Boom, there we go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
the UNSC frigates
some kind of gun platform. It looks like a Mac cannon platform in the background. Yeah, they're just. It looks like Halo. It looks exactly like Halo should.
yeah, it just needs that the background music playing with
Oh,
the
I've
monks.
been doing that all day long. I've been like dun da 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 da.
Well, this one go.
Nope.
Ah, huzzah!
Yeah.
Yeah, here we got more ships. We got looks like the capital ship. and more frigates.
Yeah, those and that gray capital ship that you're seeing in the background, that was roughly. I mean, we've kind of seen it. It looks to be about 7 inches long,
Yeah,
7 to 8
it's
inches, just to give
about
you
as
a bit
big
of
as your hand.
reference. My hand, it was bigger than my hand. I have tiny hands.
There it is.
But those Covenant ships do not have a bad angle. Not a bad one at all.
There we have the other angle. Yeah, I mean, from Spartan, this is looking pretty good.
And, you talked about the renders. Spartan has been doing these kind of ships for a long time. They've got Firestorm Armada. They also do this Dystopian Wars, which is a similar type game. But I knew that they were going to deliver. I knew that they were going to look good, but just seeing them all done up is just really, really satisfying to see that they've done it right.
Yeah, I mean, you see the detail on the ships. I mean, this is probably going to come out just regular resin plastic, but you can paint it up.
Hard plastic, not resin.
All right, yeah, you can paint that up real easy.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, that's you can just take a nice gray, give it a good wash, a little bit of dry brushing, and you're going to get not that exact paint job, but you're going to get 75, 80% of the way there with, at least on the UNSC side. So those ships will look good in a hurry.
And yeah, whoever did the paint job on these, yeah, just subtle shading and everything. It looks amazing.
Just another reason why I'm extremely excited for this game. And not only do the ships look great, but in their starter box, you're going to get a ton of them. They've announced that in the starter box by itself, 49 different ships.
That's a lot of ships.
Yeah. Now, a lot of them are going to be smaller ones. They're not all going to be these giant capital ships like what we're seeing. They're running, 2 to 3 on a stand in some cases. Like what you can kind of see on the lower right-hand side of this picture. There's actually 2 on one stand because one is really tiny. And we've seen a little bit of the gameplay demo. Well, and by a little bit, I mean just a fraction of it. We've seen how ships move. And it's nothing surprising. It looks like Firestorm, which, considering the source, doesn't surprise anybody.
Now, what can you tell me about this guy? Does this come with the game? If it does, I would buy it. Yeah.
Well, I guess you're going to have to buy it, and you're going to have to buy it soon. So Spartan's running a deal. Basically this weekend, if you pre-order their game, you will get either a Covenant or a UNSC bust of a commander. So for everybody watching live, go now before it's too late. We don't know what effect, if any, these are going to have on the game, or if it's just a promo item. We do know that there will be a painting contest on these busts, and so if you get one and you paint it up within the time frame and submit it, you'll be able to be in the running for even more cool stuff from Spartan.
I mean, who doesn't love cool stuff and painting competitions? Oh, you gotta love painting competitions.
Gotta love it, man. So yeah, Halo is looking just fabulous.
And then
How their design philosophy is they expect to be bringing a lot of new people to tabletop gaming, which is what we're all hoping for. Maybe a lot of PC or console gamers coming in. And so they've really streamlined the rules. Granted, there's going to be tactical depth in there, but they've made it so it's not a big leap to get into. Chances are you and your friend can teach yourself this game. And the starter box is going to come with all the terrain you need. It's going to have the rule book, a campaign book. So I got a feeling that this is going to be, you know, how we talked about with Hawk War Games when they did Drop Zone Commander, and we were all blown away by their starter box and how complete it was. It really looks like that is what Spartan Games is trying to emulate.
Well, I mean, we actually got to see from Hawk War Games theirs, or at least a teaser. Let's see if this.
Yeah, they actually had some really cool pictures come out for these.
So they finally finished their big ship. This is stands 7 feet tall, or 7 feet wide. Scale model of their ship. So here we have the docking bays on the side.
Yep, and those are actual Drop Zone Commander models stuffed up inside of there.
And then, can you see the gun turret?
Not really.
Okay, let me swap.
Yeah, they were talking with the guy who built this. Yeah,
That's the gun turret on the top of the ship.
Yeah, this is actually a 2-scale model from what we've seen in Drop Zone Commander. And so, like, what was this big in Drop Zone Commander, or, I guess it's actually one of their gun emplacements is about yay big, is this big on the model. But it's all to scale.
Yeah, there we have people crowded around it. I mean, thing just is huge, 7 feet, and this is the smallest ship in the game.
I believe it's one of the smaller ones. It's not the smallest in the game, but it's the largest that can enter the atmosphere.
True. And then,
which we should say, it looks like this game is going to be a totally different beast from the Halo Wars or the Halo Fleet game, where Halo Fleet game is trying to streamline things and trying to make things simple and fast. It really looks like this one is going to be an in-depth, crunchy tactical.
yeah, from the interview, they were talking about this game is going to be, you're not going to be fighting in space per se, as black background and asteroid fields and all that. No, you're going to be taking part of the ground game, and you're going to be over a planet. The planet will be underneath you, and part of your job is to drop down troops with these ships. And I mean,
Yeah, and I can see that being, kind of really organic objectives for games. Get in a position to drop ships, or provide orbital bombardment support. Because it feels like Hawk War Games is they're, oh my gosh, look at that. Is that
that is some more ships here. And I was telling Casey earlier, so we have these little bumps on the rear of the ship. Those are orbital defense lasers. And they've scaled this game in such a way that uh, the guy's a mad genius who designed this. But here we have the ship again, and those are the orbital defense lasers on the sides. So it's scaled. He scaled this thing perfect. The ships of Drop Zone Commander are scaled perfectly with the ships in this game too. So you can kind of reference how they are differently.
gosh? I was a little worried about how their ships were going to look. But obviously, I should not have been worried. I don't think Drop Zone Commander actually has an ugly model in it, but these are made like they've really built this. Like this is really what those like. This isn't a render or a concept art. This is what this game is going to be.
Well, and I guess the real big question is now, which system are you going to go for? Spartan comes out in summer with Halo, and Hawk
Which
War
is
Games is going for Christmas.
oh my gosh, I don't even know. It's I mean, obviously, my first reaction is both, of course. But what do you want? Do you want a streamlined? I don't want to call it simple. I think streamlined is a good way to put it. A streamlined deep space game where you're lining up your ships and you're just smashing things together and you're pulling a few tricky maneuvers here and there. Kind of like a deep strike or an FTL jump. Is that what you're looking for, or do you really want like a down in the weeds number crunching? Because the way they're talking about those rules for Drop Fleet, this is not going to be a simple game. You're gonna break out the calculators, boys and girls.
Well, they've got the writer, the original one of the original rules writers for Battlefleet Gothic, and
Yep.
so I mean we got somebody writing the rules for this game that knows how to do ship battle games.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that the rules are going to be broken or unworkable. I'm just saying that they're very different types of games. Like a great comparison would be playing Mercs in a skirmish game or playing Infinity in a skirmish game. They're both skirmish games. Both games look nice and play well, but there is definitely more depth to Infinity than there is to Mercs. But it's not a bad thing. It just means that they're two very different games. And now we're seeing the same thing here. I was really afraid that one game was going to come out and just totally obliterate the other one. It was going to be a really easy sell. And I don't know if both of these games are looking at each other, if they have the other game in mind as they're designing things, but it feels like they're in competition with each other, and they have really both stepped up their game, and we are seeing both companies' best work by far.
All right, I'll let you buy Halo. I'll buy Drop Fleet, and we'll be set.
I like the way you think, sir. Or maybe I should get Drop Fleet because I have Drop Zone Commander too.
Well, so do I.
And have either one of us painted a single model?
I've got one in painting queue. Does that count?
Oh no, because so do I.
I put it together.
Oh, okay. So you're in the lead then, sir. There's just too much beautiful stuff coming out right now, Alan.
Yeah,
I think that solves it. I need an airbrush. I hope everybody votes airbrush because I'm gonna need to be able to step up my, speed up how I'm painting things.
like with Infinity, with 3D printing, with Kickstarter, I've got so many miniatures now that if I could run my own demo store. But I mean, compared to when I first began this hobby, it is night and day. I mean, there is new stuff coming out every day, and it looks amazing.
The sad thing is has the player base expanded enough to keep up with all those amazing things?
Yeah, there is definitely a saturation when you come to these minor games. There's so many of them out there that you really have to pull all the stops to be the next big thing.
Yeah, it's like I wasn't planning on talking about it, but Maelstrom's Edge. Have you seen that?
Is that the one from Daka Daka?
It is. So, and you look at it, and it's a Kickstarter right now, and it's doing fairly well for itself. It won't set any records, but they'll, you know, fund with ease. But and you look at the models, and you say, oh well, the models look nice. You know, they don't look amazing, but they look nice. And then you see the rules, and you go, well, those rules are nice. They're not amazing rules, but they're nice. And that's the problem. You can't afford to be just nice. Now, I'd say the rules are better than nice. The rules are pretty good, but you got to be better than that right now, sweetheart. You got to come out swinging hard. And even then, there's
you're
a good
explaining my
chance that
dating
it's
life right now. I was getting set up with the oh well, she's a nice girl, but I mean like there's a whole lot of not just nice girls, but you want that knock your socks off, top of the line miniature game.
yeah. Let's stick with miniatures instead of your dating life. But yeah, even and you got to ask yourself, like with Halo, Halo looks amazing. It's going to have a very solid set of rules. Is that enough? Uh, it's got a great IP behind it. Is it enough? I mean, only time is going to tell, but there's so much good stuff happening right now in every scale, in 10 millimeter, in 28 millimeter. We don't, there's a little bit in 35. That's kind of the untapped region there. But in every genre, in sci-fi, in fantasy, in fleet style games, in board games, that you can't be average anymore.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, you if you have a sculptor, I mean, if your rule set isn't polished, pretty, nobody's going to look at it. If your miniatures in your game are what you saw 20 years ago, nobody's going to look at it. It's you really have to invest to be better than everybody else.
Yeah, and it's problematic because Corvus Belli has pushed what we thought we could do, with 3D printing. When they started 3D printing, everybody was really saying you can't do it. There's limitations, but it looks amazing. GW has pushed what we thought was what plastics were capable of. It used to be you said, oh well, if you want a good model, you got to go metal, and that's not true anymore. And what we thought you could see out of a fleet game, even just a few years ago. Look at Spartan's old stuff, and it's not bad, but it's definitely the old stuff to what we just looked at a few minutes ago. In every single area, boundaries are getting pushed right now. I couldn't be happier.
It just means more stuff for the shelf.
We need a Kickstarter fund for me and you just to supply our addictions.
Well,
I
that'll
like
be
that.
a wait.
We start just doing like demo games and. Oh dear gosh, and I forgot. What do we got? In a couple months, we've got the Infinity Kickstarter coming for their
RPG.
For their RPG. Oh my gosh, I think I need to go make It's time to go back to the plasma donation.
I mean,
Plug a garden hose in me.
like speaking of Infinity, like you recently, you got hornswoggled into helping me plan our Infinity event here in the local area.
Yes, for Gladiator Games, which is coming up in August.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be doing 2 large tournaments. We'll be doing a mid-tier, which is the 300-point ITS tournament, and we'll also be doing a mid-tier Spec Ops tournament.
And then also Hunger Games, which is a very interesting format.
Hunger Games is like my new obsession. Like, I always kind of knew it was out there, but then when I sat down and really started reading the rules for it, I started thinking about lists. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I want to start a new army just for Hunger Games. It's just going to be like 3 models, like for my entire army.
And for you, those of you who don't know, Hunger Games played on a 4x4 board. You have 75 points, no lieutenant required, up to 3 miniatures, and 1.5 special weapon cost. So it's a very
No retreat.
restricted format. Yeah, no retreat. Very restricted format, and it's up to 8 players. So you have this small table already. Everybody drops their deployment marker, and then you roll off, deploy there, roll off, start the game. Alliances can probably uh, rise and fall very quickly, and it's to the last man.
Yeah, dirty, underhanded playstyle is encouraged. And to make matters worse, after the 4th round, you have a wall of fire that starts pushing inward from the edge of the board, and every game round it moves in another 6 inches, and so everything that's stuck in there starts taking strength 15 fire damage, which is not fun. And so it's really forcing you to move in towards the center.
So would you take your Toha? What list would
No.
Casey bring?
Okay, so I would not bring my Toha, and let me tell you why. It's not that Toha hate fire, and let's be honest, you don't ever want to be caught in that. Nobody likes strength 15 fire. The problem is that Toha are designed to run off of link teams or triads. And one of the rules that we forgot to mention here, or maybe you didn't, I just wasn't listening to you, is that there are no link teams in this game. So the way that Toha are meant to work, fundamentally, they are not allowed to do that. I'm not saying that they can't win, because Toha still have a lot of nice units, but they wouldn't be my first choice. I think actually what I would like to take is maybe like an Ariadne force, because you're able to bring your heavy infantry, but you're not going to have to worry about hackers. So, true, you're only going to be getting up to maybe like armor 3 or armor 4, but it takes one whole component away. And you can also take really nasty stuff like Wolvers or Cameronians, that are very mobile. They can dodge really well. They have a lot of nasty chain rifles.
You need the guy with the HMG with the T2 rounds.
Maybe somebody with an autocannon. But I think what would probably be cool, and there's a lot of different ways you could spin it, but maybe take something like a full camo list, which you might be able to get away with here. Not like TO camo, but take like a mine layer, infiltrator type unit. Again, maybe like a Wolver or something. So that way, there's a lot of things you don't have to worry about. I don't know. What would you take?
I've got a list right here. Comes in exactly at 75 points. We have a Tuareg with a boarding shotgun. These are the guys with the TO camo. An Al Hawa forward observer with a boarding shotgun. This guy has regular camo. And then a Mueb, Hassassin Mueb doctor. He's got a rifle, light shotgun, and a DEP.
Now, is he a doctor or a doctor plus?
Doctor Plus.
Yeah, that's where the money is.
So we have 3 shotguns, 2 camo options, two of them are infiltrators, and since it's going to be close quarters, that +6 to an 8 in the 8 range. Oh, it's great.
Yeah, and I think that you're onto something there. Is the nice thing about this list is shotguns are obvious. Shotguns are great in this edition. Nobody denies that. But this is a game that's forced everybody to get in close and personal. And so shotguns are going to be you're always going to be in that sweet spot of your shotguns. You're avoiding a lot of stuff, taking too much nasty stuff. So hackers aren't going to be a huge problem for you. And all of your Haqqislam have high willpower. So they're going to be better at discovering other camo units. So, yeah, I think Haqqislam might actually be the way. You could take, they're technically mercenaries, but you use that link team on me. They were the ones standing
The
up on
sec
top of the
bonds.
building. Sec bonds. Yeah, I was looking at a really nasty list. You could take a sec bomb with a heavy rocket launcher, a sec bomb with a shotgun, and a Doctor Plus sec bomb. And again, they're fast, relatively fast-moving, heavy armored troops, and you're packing a lot of nastiness with those guys. So Haqqislam might actually be the best one to take.
It's hard to say because it limits. So the limitations of the list building and limitations of the board and who you're going against. There's a lot of random effects, and you could easily find yourself out in the first round.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think, like you said, you're too small to try and cover every contingency. So just pick one thing that you can do really well and just do that. Is it heavy armor? Is it something nasty firepower like a lot of shotguns? Maybe just take a whole bunch of hackers. But yeah, focus on what you do well and just do it as well as you possibly can. So, but I think other guys like Combined or Aleph, where you have really expensive units, I think they're going to have problems.
Yeah, I don't think you'd see a Morat aggression force, a full 3-man team of Morats. Probably not.
Probably not. At least you're not going to see any cool toys out of them with the 3-man team. And it's the same way with Aleph. I can get some pretty cool 2-man teams, but I got a feeling when it's that small, you're gonna want every order you can get. So, but yeah, Gladiator games. We're gonna have 2 main tournaments going on. We're also gonna have the Hunger Games, and that's gonna be more of an ad hoc thing. When we get enough people standing around, we'll put those together and roll some dice and have a good time.
And among other games and systems.
Yeah, but we're talking Infinity right now, and we worked on the Infinity packet, so screw everybody else, because you want to come here to play Infinity.
True, very true. Anything else from you, Case?
That's it for me tonight. We've had a lot of different things.
Let's see. I do have one last thing from the lovely company Games Workshop. The Assassinorium Execution Force. It's looks like a standalone board game.
What, are they Tau or Space Wolves? I don't care.
Here we have a photo. So you got the 4 assassin clans going against Chaos Marines, and I believe all the Chaos sculpts are the same, but except for the assassins themselves are new sculpts.
I've heard that these sculpts will actually become a part of the main line within a few months. So you won't have to buy the new box to get all the assassin models.
Oh, I really hope that's true.
Yeah, because okay, now I'm interested again.
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, they look really great. I've got all 4 of these in metal, and to get a plastic version and some dynamic posing would be great.
Well, again, we were just talking about pushing boundaries and how GW is doing that, and the assassin there on the bottom is the guy's running up a freaking wall. How is that? I have not seen anything like that anywhere else. It's just amazing looking.
That's the new box from GW. But other than that, that's all I have for tonight.
All right. Well, we ended on a high note with something shiny. Just another thing for me to spend my money on.
True, very true. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Tune in next week. Comment down below. Tell us what you think and what you like. Especially let us know what Casey should spend his money on.
Remember, number 1 for Tau, number 2 for Space Wolves, or 3 for an airbrush. Let me know your opinion.
All right. Like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to see more. Casey, anything else?
Just as always, if you find a cool piece of news you think would be interesting, or if your company wanted to show off a new product, shoot us an email at theatomicsalt@gmail.com.
Alrighty. Thank you guys.
The Atomic Salt, oh, just your mind.